Welcome to Mama Issues. I'm Shani.
Hey, I'm Charmaine.
Hello, I'm Mama Shelly, and today we're going to talk about trusting again. Let's get into it. Motherhood isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. And we want to help you find your own path to purpose and promise.
So after going through that relationship that I was in before I'm in the current one,
Let's talk about that relationship and the trust.
that back relationship.
How
Okay,
that broke
so
your trust.
Yeah, how that broke your trust.
it broke my trust
But
because
what was it? Because you didn't
what really
share.
broke my trust with that, it was really an eye opener because, okay, so I remember one time I was sleeping in the living room because we were, me and the spouse was going through something, and I was sleeping in the living room, which I should have been sleeping in the bed.
Individual.
First of all, that's the first alarm. That's the first flag
Right?
that I did not realize.
Girl.
But, you know, this is a side, well, I'll get to that, but this is a side note really quick. I thought that was normal, and I normalized it because growing up, I seen you and my dad going through the same thing. I'm thinking, you know, fighting and hitting each other, and that's love. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yelling.
So that was trust to me, and that was, you know, security. Because and I know it sounds crazy, but I really thought that like that's normal. That is not normal
No.
to go through that, but
But it became the normal. But I'll let
yes.
you finish and then.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay, baby. It's okay.
We gotta stay. Okay.
It's okay.
Now it is. Now it's okay.
Because it don't happen now, thank God.
Girl, Pat.
But I thought that was normal because watching y'all.
It's okay. It's okay, mommy.
You know, me and Shani, we a lot of times we used to sit under the bed and hold each other because y'all used to beat each other, or he used to beat y'all, and so I thought that was normal. So growing up, it caused me to believe that trust is when somebody is physically touching you rather than emotionally touching you.
Right.
And so the way I overcame that, because one time I noticed that, and it really broke me on the inside, because I'm like, man, I'm giving this man everything. I'm giving my family everything. I'm giving everybody everything. And now how am I? Let me get myself together, child.
It's okay.
You over there.
All right, let me talk.
You got this, girl. You got this.
Yes, I got this.
It's just a story now.
It's just a story, but thanks be to God. But
Yes.
the thing is when I was in the living room, let me go back to that. When I was in the living room and I was like, dang, I fell asleep. This man done walked outside, went to the neighbor house, chilling at the and I'm like,
Wait, who are you talking about?
I remember
Wait
this
a minute.
story, girl.
You're not talking about your...
She talking about
your
him.
husband.
No, not my husband. Definitely not my husband. 'cause
Shoot,
it wouldn't have been my
no.
husband.
previous relationship.
Yes,
He would be a husband.
The one, yes. And so, and he was like, "Nah, I was sitting in the room the whole time." Bruh, excuse me, sir, I see you. I
go
see
there.
you. And he was like, "No, you tripping. And this is the
Make
thing.
you look delusional.
The trust." When you trust something so bad, you'll start believing that when they say
you
know
start
that
trusting
saying,
the delusion.
yes.
I say you
And-
fill in the gaps.
And you know that saying where they like, nah, you just insecure. No, you're just lying.
Right.
You're just lying. That's what I
right.
had to understand.
Yes.
No,
Right.
I'm seeing the truth for what it is, and I'm just exposing
You're lying to
it.
yourself, actually.
Yes,
Not me,
yes.
yourself.
And you really think that's normal. Then you like, dang, am I insecure? No, you're not insecure. You just
He
see the
is.
truth and you're starting to expose it.
Right.
But I do believe, this is what I do believe, that when you expose it, there's a way to expose it. You don't just...
What do you mean by that?
there's a way to expose it, as in, how are you going to handle it now that you see the truth?
Mm.
How are you going to handle that exposure?
Are you going to accept it?
Yes.
Or keep living a delusional life?
Yes. How are you going to handle it? Or are you going to, sit them down like, hey, I seen this and that and this and that? Or are you going to just start building your case behind closed doors?
Oh,
and
I build a
this is
case. Because call me investigator. It's going to always
You
be a
are
case.
the family
Because
investigator.
the thing about it is, a little side note, what you got to do is you got to get all your information. Yeah. Because me having trust issues with family, starting with, my father, that is the first man that broke my heart.
How did he break your heart? Like,
He broke it.
because you never shared that with me.
That's why I had made my art piece. And that's when I had won with in the California State Fair, because he broke my heart. So the way that I express myself is in art. So he broke my heart because I really loved him, and he left us like out of the blue. And with him being a man of God, we didn't think that would happen. He was supposed to be there. Yeah. And I was the closest one to him. So, with him breaking my heart, I trusted that my heart is always supposed to be broken with the man. So, that is where my trust issues came, because I didn't know how to love anymore, because that was taken away.
Ooh. Like, I feel really
emotional.
Not just emotional. I feel like part of that is, like, I feel bad. And I feel like
you shouldn't.
But as a mom, we're protectors. And we should protect our babies. And for me, listening to you all, it just took me back and triggered a memory. And it's generational. That's something we have to be careful about. What we transfer generationally. As you were saying, what you saw, you all know my father as the loving man that he transformed into after God. But you all don't know who he was before. Like, coming home. Like, seeing my mom, physically abused. I remember one time coming home, he ran up the stairs because she didn't have, dinner ready when he got off work. Because now that I'm a mom, I understand it's difficult working and taking care of kids. Yes. And I was little because she died when I was 11, So I was younger. Had the shotgun. And that's the image that I remember seeing. And I remember one time he held her outside of their bedroom window.
Hold on, he had the shotgun?
Yeah, he had the shotgun to her. Like, those are images that I saw. Ready. And I remember one time he held her, out of the second-story window. I don't know what it was about, but those were the images I remember. And I remember one time he, y'all don't know about this, but ashtrays back in the day.
I know about the ashtray.
Not the
ashtray. It's not funny.
In the house.
Oh, God. We needed a break moment.
Right. Yes, we did. Can I get a tissue?
But I remember one time he, beat her with an ashtray. And she had, ashtray marks on her, And those are several images that I remember. So I was conflicted in, how can you treat me like a princess? I never got a whooping growing up. Never. But I was constantly exposed to it. So it was conflicting. So what I realized as I matured, we were teenagers when your dad and I got together. What I realized is that I married that father. I didn't marry who he transformed into. That was the little girl in me.
You married the behind the scenes version of him.
I married that one, and I feel bad because, I feel like it's my responsibility, and I chose the wrong father. But I don't regret having.
But what you don't know, you don't know. So that's why I always forgive you and my father, because I noticed that holding on to that trust issue was holding on to a lot of baggage. It's not just trust that, I got trust issues. No.
Yeah.
It's baggage that you're holding on to. And that's why you never change who you are. You change your environment. Because if you can't trust who you're around, you need to change your environment.
Right. Now, that's not to say about personal growth, because you know how my brain works.
Yeah.
But the other thing was trust for me. It started with my mom. I'm just now unwrapping that through therapy. Because, when Dad passed about 3-4 years ago now, it seems like it was yesterday. That's when the floodgates opened. I was emotionally numb, and that's why, now looking back, when you were like, Mom, you held us, but I held babies, but I really wasn't that affectionate. No. Because I was emotionally shut down, and I didn't realize it, but it stemmed all the way back to childhood. So I'm now realizing, now, that's why I'm sharing with you ladies, as you are becoming more comfortable with your womanhood and being an adult, being a mom, being a wife, give yourself breaks. And hey, if you have to process that or unwrap whatever happened as a result from what, happened from your dad and I, that wasn't your fault. And right now, it's like I'm finding myself having to take care of that little girl now. Because she was never taken care of.
Right.
Because at 11 years old, what do you know? And so I was thrust into a single parent home with my dad. So I have, it's mixed. The dichotomy of, how do you wrap your mind around someone treating you so good?
So can you
treating your mother so bad?
Yeah.
But because she died so tragically, and I don't want to talk about that right now. I'll talk about that later, because it's just too much right now.
Right.
After experiencing that and being thrust, with your dad, who had no clue how to raise a woman. So it wasn't until you shared with me that time when I flew from, here back to California.
Oh, from Georgia.
To California, that I realized when you said, I need you as an adult. As a grown woman, I still need my mother.
Yes.
It hit me. That's when I had an epiphany. I was like, I don't know if you remember that moment in the living room when we were all sitting around, and God told me, it was right before I had stomach surgery. You guys were like, God told me to fly. It wasn't about me thinking I was going to die or anything, but God told me, get on that plane now and go see your daughters. So I got on the plane, and that's when God said, shut your mouth and just listen to your daughters.
See, but even when you did that, I didn't feel like I trusted.
What is that?
When she flew in.
Oh, okay.
Follow along. No, I'm playing.
Follow the bouncing ball.
When she flew in to pop up on us, I didn't trust that your intentions were genuine, because I didn't trust you yet.
Yes, very much.
So it put me in a space where it was like, is she really coming out here to be concerned about me, or is she just coming out here to be nosy? Moms. What's your intention?
But that's an issue.
Because I was getting used to trusting that you really meant well for me, because I didn't feel that growing up. I didn't feel that anybody really cared. So why do you care so? That's toxic. But why do you care about me so much that you're
Yeah,
getting
I
on a
get it.
plane to pop up on me? That's weird. And it's only weird because I didn't feel that growing up. You never paid attention to us growing up. Not that I understand now as an adult, but I really
stretch
felt
yourself.
unseen. So it's like then you were just attacking us with with trying to be a mother, and I didn't know how to process that because I didn't trust that you only wanted to genuinely check on us. I thought it was every other intent, and
'Cause
you
it
know the devil can
it's
be
not
very
nothing that
deceiving.
you was used
Yes,
to when you was growing
I
up.
wasn't used to love,
Yes.
attention, a love
Yeah.
with attention.
Yeah, because this is a new,
You,
beautiful mama.
beautiful you.
Won't he do it?
Will and won't.
Won't he will?
And honestly, that's what like Shani was saying, we wasn't used to that. And because we wasn't used to that, it caused me to have women issues and trust issues with women because
Yes.
I'm not used to that. You know what I mean? So it was just like trust yourself and barely trust yourself.
Yeah,
So
I couldn't even trust myself.
don't even trust a man, don't trust a woman, don't trust a child, don't trust it was just
Right.
going down the line.
Right.
But that caused me to be like, because my mom is not, I can't rely on my mom. I'm not going to rely on a woman. We kept that together. But yeah, that's all I was just saying. I know it's a little off, but
No, it flows because that's why it's important to share. And we, as a people, we don't know how to share anymore. It's, I don't know. I mean, I grew up like, do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
What goes in the house stays in the house.
That is so toxic.
Very toxic way of thinking. So
you
what I did.
taught not to trust, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so I was taught that. And then how do you trust your family system and unit when it's really broken?
And you
really
think
broken.
That's all you know.
Right. And so you have a public view and you have a private view. So what the public sees is mom and dad going to church.
Right.
They don't see at home fighting and
they don't
not
see us
realizing
under them,
right,
beds.
not realizing that I stepped right into the next generation.
Yep.
And then I transferred or
And
passed that on.
Yeah.
So us coming together saying we have to break the cycle.
Yes.
And it starts with us.
But
something I wanted to share with you all is that I think now that your mother's is clearer to you, I tried to explain as you were growing and it wasn't appropriate.
Right.
Because you didn't have the experience.
Yes.
But now that you're mothers and now that you're wives, you know the pressure. And now I can share raising 6 daughters.
That makes sense.
Alone, it leaves an imbalance.
Yeah.
And so you all felt the weight of that imbalance.
Yeah.
And that really hurts.
But like the scriptures say, all things work together. If I was not able to experience that, y'all fighting and fussing and this and that, if I was not able to experience that, how would I know how to help somebody else? Like, this is what you do. This is what you do. You get what I'm saying? So I appreciate all of that.
Yes, I appreciate it. It was a journey, but I definitely appreciate
it was much needed.
Yes,
because somebody needs a shoulder to lean on and cry on as well, and
even
say,
mothers.
"Look, sis, I got you. Come here."
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. All things work together.
Yeah, but going back to that moment in the living room, that's when I realized I didn't have it to give. And that's something God taught me is we try to stretch and fill in the blanks for someone who doesn't have the capacity.
Whew.
So you have to have the capacity. And once someone shows you what their capacity is,
right,
that's what you have to believe.
Yep.
Yes.
Not fill in the blanks.
Yep.
Not what
and so
I
was yearning for something that I was missing, not knowing it. And so I thank God that through prayer, that God separated all of us.
Yes.
And
bring us all
to bring us
elevation requires separation.
To heal, to start the healing process.
Yes.
For us to come back, to mature us.
For generational growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we always hear about generational curses. I want to talk about generational blessings. Where do we move from here?
Yes.
Where do we go from here? And so I'm sorry.
No,
Like,
you're not sorry. You
I
apologize.
apologize. I
It's okay to
apologize.
say sorry though.
It's okay to
Certain
apologize.
instance, yeah,
Let's
sorry.
clear that up.
But sometimes
But
I'm
it's
sorry.
not, but you're not
Sorry,
sorry.
not sorry.
Okay. But like I really am. I wish, as a mother, okay, keep living. I always say that, keep living, because your
Yeah.
kids are young now.
No, I get it. Every time I look
You
at
have
Olivia,
both have babies. Someone told me that you were like 3, and I'm just so young, working in the school system. Like, oh no, my kids are beautiful. And I had an older man tell me, keep living, keep living. Wait till they become teenagers. I'm like, oh no. Yeah,
They're
I
not
kept
gonna
living.
be a problem. It'll be great.
But wonderful,
All
everything
A's
lovely,
and everything.
Right.
everything.
No problem at all.
Never had to go to school a day in my life, but to the awards assembly. So.
Right. Right. Honor roll. Perfect
Honor
attendance.
roll. So, I mean, I understand with your personalities and yeah, I just really, yeah. So in saying all that, what is like one nugget that you could leave a woman that might be experiencing what we've experienced? I'll start with you, Shani. One nugget and wrapping it all up.
To trust yourself. Start with trusting yourself, because we don't trust ourselves, and that is what hinders us a lot. So just trust yourself when growing through trust.
Okay.
I agree with trust yourself, but I feel like first you need to trust God, because
Yes.
our hearts are very
Always.
deceptive.
Yes.
It would deceive us and say, no, you need to go left. No, God told me to go right.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
He knows before we even get there. So trust God and then trust yourself after you have aligned yourself with God.
That part.
Right.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Mama Issues. So if you like this episode, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.